La, 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 la. Look at this eyeball. Hello. This is so uncomfortable. Ow. I look so short. I feel like this audio. I don't know. I feel like I don't have much to say. Mhm. Is anybody live? It's like the idea of a monologue right now just sounds horrible. Horrible. What's going down on the Ragings? Melanie's over there. And Neve, Simon, Flow State, Rachel's Ghost. Rachel's Ghost? Wait, what? Duh.
Because like I think the way that I act on like your panel or other people's streams is very different from the way that I conduct myself on my stream. So aside from that though, I think the drama is like it's just characterized by like buy-in, and a lot of that is really just kind of held up by the viewers and community members, right? That's what makes it feasible, which I love. So
yeah. Anybody else so far?
Well,
Yeah,
I would just
all right.
go. I'll let you go. Go ahead.
I was just wondering what.
Oh fucking god! No, go ahead, Rachel. Nobody wants to hear this,
Simon.
dude.
Yeah, Rachel, we'd rather hear you.
Really?
All I was gonna say.
I like the yelling. It's too much. It's too much. Why are we yelling? Why are we yelling? Okay. I feel like I need like a Michael Sartain or like a home math. What time is it in Vegas? It's kind of late. Wait, Las Vegas. Is it 4 hours? Ow. It's 9:02. Oh, it's only 9 over there? Jesus. Jesus. I wonder. Let me see. Are you into politics at all? Like Israel Gaza shit? Alex. No. um renew. Hold on. Script. Okay. You know, one of the best things that I ever did was set my notifications or whatever on my phone to like not getting notified after 6 o'clock. It has its ups and downs, but I feel like it's been a positive thing. You're still trying to move there? Yeah, just be careful. Don't want to end up homeless. I wonder if the housing got better over there. I don't know. I don't even. Is North Las Vegas still bad? Probably. Probably. You have school tomorrow. Yay. I know. I have so many things to cover that my mind just goes like, blah. I'm just like, not really trying to do the whole, like, I am not a spiritual person. I'm not. I am dead inside, but I find that it's like fascinating, I guess, like the integral theory, because I've been having such a hard time communicating my thoughts, and it's like, oh, this is promising. This is promising. The eyelash, but at the same time, I kind of want to like synthesize it in a way that isn't so magical. I feel like home math does that well, but this man is impossible to get a hold of. They upgraded the laser dome system, just hoping there's still some decent places to stay that are left. Do you have dogs? I mean, Vegas is pretty clean, honestly. Like, I stayed when I was running out of money. I was staying at the motel or whatever, and it was the cleanest motel I've ever been in my life. So take that for what it's worth. I was gonna do a video sometime between like this weekend, and it was gonna be all about religion. Jesus. But I also don't really want to do that. Come on, we need the dopamine. Where's the dopamine? Like, God damn it. In other news, I don't know where I put my weights. My dad's been cleaning the garage, and like he placed them somewhere because I literally was just using them and I can't find them. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna use this bar stool to do my workouts with. And let me tell you, okay, not a bad idea. Just for like form and stuff. Like I'm talking like a stool, like your typical wooden one, nothing fancy. It's like this is actually really nice. 20 out of 10. But now I'm just like I'm like stuck in this position. No, I do not do OnlyFans, sir. I love dogs, but don't currently. Religion or faith? Religion specifically in regards to governing male behavior and the concept of obedience and submission, and possibly that I don't know if I would call it patriarchy. I guess because that's like obey to your husband, but how patriarchy is a sin and like a whole thing laid out. It's just abstract hypotheticals. It's nothing like this is the world, but it was interesting. I can't believe this year is almost over. I still fear that after this election, it's going to get a lot worse. No, I think it's actually, I'm hopeful. I think it'll get better. I think relationships are going to get better. And I'm not a wishful thinker. Like, if anything, I get accused of being nihilistic, even though I don't try to be. But people are like, oh no, what do you live for? And I'm like, this universe. I don't even like saying that, but there's a lot to live for that has absolutely nothing to do with religion. Ariana Grande, thank you so much. Oh, will your house husband have to submit? My house husband can do whatever the fuck he wants. Okay. Just like, don't be annoying. That's all I ask. I can't guarantee it reciprocal. Never mind. I'm just kidding. Are you familiar with the original reasoning for submission from an intellectual basis? Yeah, I would say so. I think. Maybe I'm wrong. I've like had certain conversations with people that are like, well, you submit, and he submits to God, and that's the order. And I'm like, no, something's not right about it. Something's not right. And it's like, why isn't it right? Because some men do bad things with that. And I don't think, based on like the written historical references of God or whatever, it's that if he really is almighty and omnipotent, okay, then I don't think he would tell anybody to do that. That doesn't mean that you can't, obviously. I know many couples that love that. But I know many people that leave the church over it. I was looking at some statistics. I haven't really verified the sources. I just kind of like was glancing what came up on Bing, and it was like more and more men are joining the church and more women are leaving. It's like they're bringing feminism to the church. I'm like, interesting. A woman can't tell a man how to govern his behavior. And I was like thinking about it. I was like, it's interesting how women say they want a God-fearing man. I wonder why. And then I got down this rabbit hole in my brain, like, is the only way to modify male behavior, like bad male behavior, through fear? Was I onto something when I said, you got to scare them a bit, That's the only way. The only way that they get trained. Think of like the military commands and shit. It's like when I say that, I'm kidding, but not really. Obviously, no like physical abuse or anything, right? But you gotta see cheating as like, oh, that's gonna be a headache. You know what I mean? Hello. Hey, better to be feared than loved. And then I was also thinking that if man was a God-fearing man, I don't know. I don't know. Did you agree that they initially learned through imitation or irritation? I'm going blind, I swear. Hold on. Would you agree that they initially learned through imitation, boys or girls? Sorry, I haven't been catching up. But the fact that boys are joining the church and women are leaving, I don't know. There's something about the submit to the man no matter what. That's something about it. It's giving like the same energy as slavery. And I don't know how to articulate it. And it's like, well, if the church gets rid of that component, then what happens? It's like, oh, the fucking feminism. And I'm like, it's not a feminism thing, though. It's not. It has to do with that power structure thing that I keep referencing to, and how it's actually not benefiting anybody. But it seems like the men obviously are joining the church because traditional gender roles, having more specifically like Christianity, like in regards to, or I think Mormon, like the Latter-day Saints typically, and then I say Christian, I really should say LDS. I find that it's like the most, there's great things about it, don't get me wrong, but it seems like the closest thing to like radical religion. I don't know. In the West, at least, it's like Islam's kind of not really over here, and if it is, it's a little bit different. There's something about the way that they view women in the Mormon church that makes me sad. I don't know. Where was I going with that? Is this pre-recorded? No. No. No, there's more men joining the church than women. Women are leaving the church. And it's like, it makes sense why women are leaving. How does it benefit them? It benefits men, arguably, but it doesn't benefit women. Think about it. In the most extreme sense, if a man is doing PDF stuff, it's like they keep it within the church. That's on the extreme end, like really niche, you know, but it's like stay by his side. What the fuck? Ew. No. Fuck him. But I know like some really amazing men who are a part of the church, right? So it's not all the time. It can't be. I know that. I know sometimes I'll say like the extreme hypothetical, but I acknowledge that like these sort of dynamics can really work with certain people, but I fear that it's doing something. I don't know yet. Doing something that isn't right. I don't want to like die on the hill and say it's submission and that stuff, because there is a beauty in submission in other areas. I mean, you can't have two people leading bachata, for instance, you know? You can't, like, if you've ever done ballroom dancing or anything, you know what I mean? You can't have two people driving a motorcycle. I'm thinking of like riding two up with somebody. It's like I have to follow them. Like, don't lean too far, right? Like, I'm just thinking of like moments where it's like there's obviously like symbiosis or something going on. So why wouldn't there be that in relationships? I was watching this TikTok video today actually, and it was about the TikTok Mormon moms or something. And they follow a bunch of different couples. And there's one in particular that I found to be so fucking triggering. And by triggering, I'm just sad. And it was like all these Utah Mormon moms have like have a social media presence, and they're making crazy money on it. And one of the couples is like 20, 21, and one of the husbands is just like a gambling addict, which I empathize with that, but saying like just horrible things to her, saying like we need to move for my medical school, like fuck your job type shit. And it's like her job is the only thing keeping them afloat. Like he doesn't have a job. That's so fucking bold. And it's like it gets reinforced in the church. It's like that to me is ego. I don't know what else would be. Spending like $3,000 a day of her money, their money, but like her job that he criticizes her for and says horrible things about it, but it's like funding them. It's like, how are you so delusional? And then they go to therapy, and it seems like the discourse, which I haven't seen any discourse on this, but I can just picture it. I'm assuming, so you probably shouldn't do that, but it's like, do men agree with that? And is therapy always, well, feminism infiltrates like therapeutic settings, so they're gonna view him as the problem. I'm like, he is the problem. That's so sad to me. And I'm not saying he should get down on his knees and like pray that she's the one carrying this team. Not at all. But there's nothing worse than having a partner or even a friend that criticizes everything you do. Like, like that's something that I learned. Like, I'd always want to be the friend that like cheers you on. Even if you fucking fail, even if you try like 20 different things, I support it, you know? Like, there's nothing worse than like having really good news and bringing it to people that just hate you for it and just like have something to say, or you get the promotion at work. Like, it's just like, and I have to sleep next to it. Ew. I'd rather be alone, you know? And this goes both ways. It's not just like male, female, female, male. It doesn't even matter. But like, I don't know. Just makes me sad. Yep. See? Yeah, you don't. Like I said, like it works for people, and that's awesome. You know, I think it's always a good thing when you have some sort of framework that works for like you and your husband or you and your wife or whatever. It's just like you have to understand that you do that with like like I could tell Rachel doesn't take shit, you know? But it's like you're younger or something and you have like that guy, the medical whatever, that hasn't even gotten into medical school yet, loser. I'm just kidding. But it's like you have him wasting away your money like the addict that he is, talking shit about your job. And he said something like, I guess the production took the moms to a Chippendales, and they'd never been there, obviously. And you could see the text from her phone, like a real Mormon woman wouldn't have ended up there. And it's like, dude, it's the show. What's wrong with? Why are you fucking? It's probably deflecting, shifting blame because he has a gambling problem. Typical, you know. And like you go through that stuff even by yourself. You like learn to work through that in your early 20s, but you put people together and it's like you do everything for the guy. Ugh, makes me sad. I'm not having children, sir. Thank you. We're not passing on these genes. Okay, we're psycho. Remember that. Um, yeah, for sure. For sure. I think there's a lot of toxic see that's what fucks me up. I think gender roles have that they can work in like a kink way. I'm fucked up. But like in another sense, I think they're so problematic cuz what if you don't fit in the mold? Then what? You know, like there should be space for everybody to express themselves the way they want to. Why though? Why? Self-fulfillment? I don't know. Don't be sad. Thanks. I'm not anymore. In essence, it has to do with child rearing. If children initially learn to develop through imitation, submission is an example for them to imitate respect for their parents. For sure. For sure. Yeah, for sure. It's the reason why male self-deletion rate is so high. Men are taught to just push down emotions until it gets too difficult and they can't handle it anymore. It's super multifaceted, but I would say that's probably a big one. But sometimes I think it's like there's so many factors to it. Men are more likely to use lethal weapons. So they both, I know women and men both attempted at the same rate, but men go through with it more because they have the tip. I think the one thing was like they use more lethal methods, which is sad. But it's like if you have one standard for all men to fit in, and then you're constantly being told a real man wouldn't do that. It's like, Jesus. I found when I saw adults being hypocrites, I lost respect for them. Yeah. Oh my God, it's so fucked up, but it's so true. So dark. Sorry. It's like they fucking can't fail. They must. Oh, that's so sad and so fucking dark. Because we live in two different worlds. Yeah. You know, integral theory talks about how, like that Ken Wilber was saying, how you will see this thing going on between sides when they're trying to solve like the problem or whatever, and they'll be like, you'll see this show up in like oppression Olympics, and I was like, based. Based. It's so true though. But it's really like that dichotomy of not putting yourself in the other person's shoes. If you can get there, we can evolve. It's one way to look at it. But it's not easy. It's not easy. You guys are popping in the chat right now. I'm done. I think like the corn issue that we were talking about yesterday, I think anything that keeps you from being able to empathize with the opposite sex, gender, whatever, I think is like very problematic. And I don't say that lightly. And so I'm like thinking of some of the things, because like the corn is an obvious one in like typically more so one direction, but you can kind of see it in both because you have more women doing OnlyFans or whatever. But anything that can warp your perception of the other person, I find is going to be bad, which seems like obvious. But if we can manipulate our environment to suit us, like I'm a determinist, so it's like kind of complicated, but essentially your environment's the thing you can manipulate in order to get better outcomes, if you will. So it's like if we know that it's going to keep people from being able to get into that empathetic state, into the other person and really empathize. And I say it keeps like more so men specifically, like cishet men, whatever. It keeps like you will see the way that they think about women in the spaces, like on the more black pill look smacks area. It's almost like corn rot, brain rot, which I mean, I'm told by men is like a clear indication that they have corn rot. So, like certain things they say, and I can see that. I can definitely see that. And I just feel like can you take it out of the environment? I used to think once Pandora's box is open that you can't go backwards, and I kind of don't know if I agree with that anymore. And would it go back to normal right away? It depends how we like get rid of it. How do we support former corn stars, if you will? It's like funny, but I don't know. It's like maybe we don't have to go backwards, whatever. And if we didn't, how do we solve that perceptual dilemma? Because that's really what it is. I don't know how to articulate it that well, and I know it doesn't seem. It's like okay, Tori, but I'm hoping if I spew some shit, somebody will pick it up and figure out the problem or a solution, if you will. It's all about solutions. Yeah, obviously. And it's like, so how do you know if you pick the right thing? Well, it's not going to come from morality, I'll tell you that. Well, kind of, a little bit. When in doubt, compassion, which is easier said than done. That took me like 7 years to get to. So I was actually doing that whole series and the morality one. I went back and edited some stuff today. And I'm like, I don't even know if this makes sense anymore. Because it's like, what the fuck is morality? Why does it always come up in a debate? Why is it always the focal point of any conversation online? A lot of people think they know what morality is, just based on like debates or philosophy or whatever. It's like I could tell you about David Hume and the Aesop problem, and you might have like a basic understanding. It probably would get you by in a debate, but it doesn't give you the feeling of when you pick the wrong choice. Like morality isn't like some people see it as like, oh, it's some principles that guide you on what's right and what's wrong. But it's not even that. It's like, what do you do when both options suck? And then what if when you pick those shitty options, the aftermath of things? And it's like until you have been on that side of things where you have to like wake up and look at yourself in the mirror when you realize you picked what you thought was the right decision and like you send somebody to capital punishment, something, whatever. And it's like you have to wake. Is it still moral when like it is, but like I don't know how I word it is like what about the aftermath? What do you learn after you pick the wrong decision, even though you thought it was the right one at the time? And it's like when you look back in almost all fucking scenarios that I've dealt with personally, every single one, I was like writing it back and I was like, I should have done nothing at all. And that's really uncomfortable. And when you think about the trolley problem, it seems obvious, but nobody ever says that. If they do, they'll say it's because it's God's will. It's like, oh, okay. But yeah, doing nothing at all would have led to less suffering in a way. Think about it. Think about it in terms of capital punishment, for instance. You decide not to sentence this murder or whatever happened to death. And if you think about it, that is less suffering. So it's kind of like working backwards. It's like anytime you hear people talk about morality, it's like mm, whose dick is bigger, honestly, in a debate. It's like, what are your moral principles? And it's like we all so righteously say, we do the right thing no matter what. We don't lie no matter what. And it's like, what about when you're a 911? What happens when you are a 911 dispatcher and there's a man outside your front door with a butcher's knife, banging on it, trying to get in, and you're the phone operator and you have to say, well, they didn't commit a crime yet. Call us back if he kills you, right? Because he's not trespassing. And it's like, shouldn't you have lied in that moment? It's like, what would you, should you lie and send the dispatcher anyway and lose your job? It's just like, are we going to be deontological about it or what are we doing? It's like, I don't know. I got really deep with it. Can you tell? It's like, I don't know. I don't know if it's just like YouTube, but I feel like unless you guys have any videos or creators that you recommend, I haven't seen any good videos on morality. Like the real, like, yeah, you could do the trolley problem and the prisoner's dilemma and the double effect and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, what about the real shit? You know, like that doesn't really feel real. So I was trying to come up with some things that kind of shifted my worldview. And anyways, long story short, when in doubt, compassion. When in doubt. When in doubt. And anytime somebody debates you on morality, there's always a loophole out of it, if you will. Somebody always has a hole in their morality because morality is what you feel. It's not technically facts. Some would argue against that, but can you get an is from an ought? Can you? Do not harm life. It's that simple. Mm-hmm. Is there any specific, like, I don't know, debate topic? I feel like morality is like the big theme. It always comes down to it. I see a lot of people mixing up ethics and morality. You can't unsee it. It's my biggest pet peeve, but like I get it. It's totally it makes sense. People use it interchangeably, but it's like morality is guiding you and your beliefs. Here's a good debate for you. Why is it that almost every person on the conservative right is Christian? Because they believe in more traditional. What's wrong with Christian? God introduced man to write his word, not man's word. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck? I was like, wait, what? Compassion creates less suffering. Exactly. Even in the most extreme examples. I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something when it comes to I just think I think it backwards. Fucks me up. Fucks me up. Because it's like, how would you know that that option is the right one and that it would lead to less suffering? It's like, okay, wait, hold on. I don't know. You just sit with it. It sounds so Buddhist, doesn't it, Michael? Like, it's like you understand that, like, is there anything in immediate danger right now? Okay, somebody's in psychosis. Do you need to call the cops right now? Are they a danger to themselves or others? No? Okay, just sit there. Your reality and their reality is inherently different, which is kind of crazy to think about, but compassion. I don't know. Compassion seems like the right thing. Do less harm. Because how much harm or what's the word? Fragmentation. How much harm are you causing by having the cops come? How much harm are you causing to have them on a 5150 where they get strapped to a gurney into a psychiatric unit? How much harm are you doing for them to be kind of stripped of their rights in a way? Don't do that. And that's pretty scary because your instinct is to like freak out and take control and whatever. And there's certain circumstances, like I said, danger to themselves or others. We're trying to minimize harm. Yeah, but why is that bad? Because it causes fragmentation. Anything that can harm more. I guess an easier way is to see it as like trauma. And it's like if there were flashing lights, they would run, even though it only happened once. It is traumatic for a lot of people. And would you want that? I guess is like a good way to think that. It's one of those situations that you kind of have to be in. And I hate saying that. But it's like, do you pick up your phone and call right away? It's like when you have that moment to think if you should, don't do it. But if you just call, that's the instinct or like the urgency that's like maybe permissible, I guess. I don't know. More on that when I get more clear on this shit, okay? That's what feels right. Michael. Some feel it's an universal awareness. They may not be a border for it. Yeah, but why is causing trauma bad if morality is subjective? I don't think anything's objective at this point in my life. Like I said, could be a psychosis. Who knows? I guess it's what we believe is objective changes depending on context. And that's kind of uncomfortable to have in your brain, but it's okay to have paradoxes in there. That's a new one. Okay to hold contradictions as long as you can acknowledge it. It's uncomfortable for a lot of people. Buddhism came out of Hinduism, but I mostly use it as a reference. It's many different aspects of these particular teachings based. And what is your justification for an objective claim? Compassion. Follow me for more tips. I love this shit. The paradox. I know. Life is a wave. We go up and down. and flow like the flower. You're not wrong. And you're not wrong. I always have to bring up the house situations to the non-believers in the chat. Everybody in the chat must respect people's religions, identities, non-religions, mom and dad, and people. Just be kind. Pardon my ignorance. Yeah, you're actually, it's funny you say that. I don't even think I gave one definition this fucking chat. Excuse my language. I have one, but Ken Wilber's integral theory offers a unique lens through which to view human development, categorizing worldviews into distinct stages that correspond to different levels of consciousness. This theory distinguishes between first-tier and second-tier stages, each representing a fundamental shift in how people perceive, interpret, and interact with the world. First-tier consciousness includes the bulk of human consciousness, representing a series of stages where each worldview tends to view itself as the right or only way to see the world. These stages are often categorized by in-group versus out-group thinking and an inability to fully integrate or understand other worldviews. Here's a breakdown. Number 1, beige, also known as survival consciousness. The 3 things are basic survival instincts focused on physical needs, food, shelter, safety, characterized by primal drives and instincts. Number 2, purple, tribal, magical consciousness. Magical thinking, mythic beliefs, loyalty to family, tribe, and close-knit communities, decisions guided by rituals, omens, and traditional practices. Something I know about tribal and oxytocin. So oxytocin, the love hormone, I don't remember it exactly, but essentially when you have oxytocin, what you're also getting is like tribalism. And I guess it's that connectedness. And we do this thing where we immediately become tribal, almost instantaneously. So, not surprised that's in number 2. Number 3, red, egocentric warrior consciousness, power-driven, impulsive, and aggressive, dominated by the need for power, control, and dominance. Morality revolves around what benefits the self. Number 4, blue, traditional, mythic order consciousness. I would argue that most people are probably here. And that at least like probably 18 would be the youngest, but not even, maybe like 25. Oh shit. Conformity, rules, and authority, strong sense of duty, moral codes, and faith in higher order. Good versus evil mentality seeks stability and order. Number 5, orange. I would say there's like a good portion of the audience that's in orange, which is rational, scientific, and conscientiousness. Achiever, individualistic, success-oriented, driven by logic, evidence, and strategic thinking, seeks autonomy and personal achievement. 6, green, pluralistic, postmodern consciousness, emphasizes equality, empathy, and relativism, rejects hierarchy, and embraces diversity, advocates for social justice, inclusion, and human rights. Whenever we see the discourse on YouTube with the gender war, left versus right, or whatever, it's typically 5 versus 6. And you would think that 6 would be, you would think that they would have gone higher up. Like 5 and 6 are technically both like correct. They need to become one, though, if you will. And so when green sees things like anti-feminism, they see it as a threat to feminism or like a threat to their deconstruction, when really they're operating on like a primitive level of development. So it's like they're trying to solve the problem, and orange, I feel it goes past green when they go up because they'll be able to like see sort of different systems. And if they adopt the green way of thinking or components of it, if you will, then they transcend, which sounds so magical. Okay. So magical. Second tier consciousness. The leap to second tier is a radical shift that integrates and transcends first tier perspectives. People at second tier are able to see value in each of the first tier stages, understanding them as necessary steps in human development. Instead of viewing one as better or worse, second tier thinkers see each stage as playing an essential role. So, if you have gotten to the point where you see the discourse and you understand that you were there before and that you've moved past that and you found like a homeostasis, balance, or if you will, you understand that that sort of way of thinking, once you mature a little bit more, it goes away. So it's like you get it. You get that it's a different developmental stage. So yellow, systemic integral consciousness, sees the world as a network of interdependent systems, appreciates the complexity of various perspectives without becoming attached to any one view, focused on flexible problem solving, autonomy, and strategic thinking. Then you have 2, turquoise, holistic consciousness, embraces global and cosmic perspectives, sees the interconnectedness of all life, operates from a sense of unity consciousness, understanding the woven nature of systems and the human experience. Second tier thinkers don't only just understand multiple perspectives, but they can see how bolded, how each fits into a bigger picture. Rather than being against other worldviews, they integrate them to find the most adaptive and holistic responses to complex issues. The tension between first tier and second tier thinking is one of the driving forces behind modern cultural and political conflicts. Most of the culture clashes between conservative and progressive values, and those are expressions of first tier worldviews, blue versus green. A second tier individual, however, sees these conflicts not as battles between right and wrong, but as developmental stages that each hold partial truths. Hold on. Why is it that all my people can be at peace with one another, but people outside my religion are always fighting, going through mental illness or depression or rotting away in prison? I wonder why. Please say equilibrium. Thanks. Sorry. I did not say equilibrium. Great word. Chaos theory. No sarcasm today. Let's see. First tier consciousness. Majority. First tier stages represents the majority of human development throughout history and are defined by an inability to fully comprehend or appreciate perspectives beyond one's own. These stages are primarily focused on survival, tribal identity, social cohesion, and rational individualism. Dominated by self-interest and group identity, each stage prioritizes its own needs and values, whether that's the survival instinct of beige, the tribalism of purple, or the law and order mentality of blue. Limited perspective taking. People at this level struggle to truly step into other viewpoints. A person at Orange values scientific progress and meritocracy, but may dismiss green, pluralist, postmodern concerns about inequality and environmentalism as irrational or soft. Different stages often end up clashing because they don't recognize their positions as developmental stages. They see them as universal truths. Second tier consciousness represents a radical leap in consciousness, a level where individuals can finally see the value and limitations of all previous stages. Second tier thinkers have the capacity for integrative thinking and can hold multiple perspectives at once without falling into dogmatism or fragmentation. While first tier stages are characterized by either or thinking, second tier shifts to both and approach. Non-judgmental perspective, because they recognize the developmental nature of each stage, they are less likely to condemn or attack first tier stages. Instead, they seek to integrate the positive aspects of each while minimizing their drawbacks. Flexibility and adaptability. Appreciation for complexity. Second tier thinkers are not overwhelmed by paradoxes or contradictions. They thrive in complexity and seek to transcend and include all previous perspectives, creating frameworks that honor the diversity of first tier thinking. Compassionate engagement. Yeah. Anyways, we're evolving rather quickly. And I actually think we're going to have 10% of, they say once you have like 10% of the population in that second tier bucket, they get things moving pretty quickly. And so like 5 years ago, they anticipated it to happen in 10 years or so. So in 5 more years. And you're probably like, what the fuck is this magical shit? I promise you it's not magical. I promise. I couldn't lead you there. I hate the word consciousness just in and of itself. Not like actually, but it gives Scientology to me a little bit when I hear that word. I don't know why. Well, I know why, but keep your mind open for possibility. Don't get pay attention to people who use neuro-linguistic programming or cult speak or us versus them, dogmatism, tribalism, and always tell the truth. I feel like it can lead you there. Who knows? I think it will. I find that a lot of times, like, dogmatism doesn't even have to come, like, it's like an attitude of just like everybody must be lying. If you think people are lying, it's because you probably lie. And that's uncomfortable. That's uncomfortable, isn't it? But if you can recognize when you do that, I think it would shift people a little bit more. I'm not like the type of person that says most people are stupid. I think that's so wrong to say. I think everybody has the capability to transcend. Just do the work. Focus on yourself. Find out why you think people are out to get you. Find out why you have a tendency to react quickly to things and why that triggers you. And the sooner you do that, the sooner we could all get together and live happily ever after. So I'm actually pretty hopeful for the future. And I genuinely don't say that lightly. You ask anybody, they will literally be like, Tori's a fucking nihilist. I'm not. I'm just, I don't know. Could it be psychosis? Maybe. Guess we'll have to wait and find out. Not off the table, you know. Everyone who thinks everyone does something does that thing themselves. And this is like such an uncomfortable concept for those that may hear it for the first time. But if you constantly perceive somebody with no evidence, right? No evidence. I would even go as far to say is unless you could see in somebody's brain, okay, you never know why somebody does something. I feel like that has led me in a positive direction to operate in that way. So don't assume people are lying. Don't assume that they are trying to come after you, whatever it is. Always see the good in people. Like most people are good. If you haven't heard it, now you are. Or now you do. But like most people are good. And then find out why you get triggered. You can still get triggered, just know why you do it. There's a reason I will say I'm projecting. I feel like it's such a, well, I don't know if it's a pervasive problem, but it's such an obvious and not obvious thing that people do. And when I say obvious, it's like you can see it when people jump to something. And typically, if you reverse it, that's what you're projecting. I just projected something the other day. What was it? The thing with Jordan Peterson and Sam Harris, which, by the way, Ken Wilber did a video on the video that I did. Not mine specifically, but on how they're literally talking past each other. And I got dragged by people. They're like, no, they just don't understand Sam Harris. And I'm just like, okay, like I'm not going to defend it. But I found it interesting that he made a video on it. And the thing that frustrated me and triggered me was because I know that I struggle with language. And I'm like, you guys just don't get it. You just don't understand Jordan Peterson. Why am I reacting this way? Because I struggle with language as well. Okay. That's an example. What other ones? The lying thing, it could be a projection. Probably. Okay. We did that one. What else? I don't know. You won't be able to unsee that. It's like most people operate on projections. And once you get it, you get it. And so I'm almost like liberating. It's like you wake up one day and you got 6-pack abs. And all you had to do was like notice when you are reacting a certain way. It's great. It's like without the work. I would say more sick weirdos and freaks in this world versus good people. I vehemently disagree. I don't know what the population is incarcerated, but it's over incarcerated. So, but I believe if I remember correctly, somebody said it was like, I don't like to repeat it if I don't really remember, like 10 to 5%, maybe. Let me see. What is the percentage of incarcerated individuals to population? How do you even fucking word this? 0.7% is currently in federal or state prison or local jail. That's like not a lot when you look at the grand scheme of things. But it's like we're so not brainwashed, but we're like fed a bunch of negative news, so it might feel that way. But no, most people are good. I don't really use terms like good or same. But this is me trying to operate in like different paradigms, I guess. Like I don't believe in evil, but that's a hot take. It's a hot take. It's all the spectrum, baby. Has Torshaa almost completely eliminated like as a filler word while she's streaming? What? Did I? No shit. That's how you know that I'm getting somewhere. This whole time I thought that I was struggling with language from an accident. And really, it's just trying to convey multiple perspectives to people that have never experienced the other perspective. It's tricky. There is no language for it. And what you think you know as language is actually the same in other places, but does not mean the same thing. I don't know if that landed. That keeps me up at night. Okay. Keeps me up at night. I've been drinking black tea. That looks gross. I tried the grapefruit peels and it gave me a good boost of energy, and then I, like, fell asleep during the day. I just had, like, self-awareness. I knocked out for 2 hours or something like that. So I was like, "Ah." But I've been liking the black tea, especially because 'cause I've had this canker sore. Oh my god. It's been so painful, but the black tea is helping. And it has energy. If you're somebody that has tried to drink coffee, Red Bull, and you're like, "This stuff is just giving me anxiety," try drinking tea with caffeine. I wish I knew about this sooner. I was like, "Oh, that's what it means to enjoy waking up." It's great. I still like the taste of coffee better, but way better. Um, way better. I've been drinking it throughout the day. I'll keep boiling water to do it because I don't have a fucking tea kettle. Sorry, I'm behind. I'm behind. Do you realize a lot of crime isn't reported correctly? I do. You're not wrong. Torsh, do you think you're nice because you were injured? You're too hot to be so nice. I was a ginger. I mean, I am a ginger, but I was a scrawny little ginger girl, okay? I also had to bartend and had social anxiety, so I'm more afraid of you than I'm like a spider. Everybody's scared of it, but I'm the one that's like, "Ah!" Zaddy, long legs. Look at these arms. But, anyways. A grapefruit peels too that maybe you needed to rest further heal. True. True. Oh, you know what, guys? Torch will certainly be made into AI. I think AI has been a great thing. I've always been hopeful for it. And I think it's going to help speed up the process too. So there's that to look forward to. I can understand why people think that AI is not that you said it was going to be bad. I know you're just saying I'm going to be made into the AI. What if I am the AI, bitches? What if that's God? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Oh, that would be a fucking plot twist. Just a bitch. Let's talk about that right now because wait before she sees it. Oh no. Oh no. I always want I said I didn't always want this, but I said if there was like a hostage negotiator, that's not the right word, but somebody that would like de-radicalize AI if it ever got violent, it would be me. It would be me. Bartender energy. I don't know. I think about the weirdest shit. We'll definitely make her into a companion. Oh my god. Oh my god. I think AI is good for people that struggle with communication. I actually read a Reddit post or struggle with relationships. I read a Reddit post that was like, AI has really helped me with social skills. And I was like, why didn't I think of that? What's a proper way to greet somebody? Okay. AI knows what's up. Are you guys nice to AI? I hope so. Please and thank you. Just like, do you want to hear a joke? Hey, you dropped something. Your standards. Hi, I'm Tori. That was, haha, Tori. The Matrix here. Wait. Ken Wilber, I think, used to do the voiceover for The Matrix, which I have not seen, unfortunately. I do have a memory of like the guy in the trench coat from when I had to be 5. But yeah, I tried to watch it when I was older and I fell asleep. Movies are hard for me to stay awake with. Unless I'm like moving around and have a movie on in the background, but I don't have a TV and haven't for a very long time. If you want to make an AI version of me, I support it. Okay. What would we program it to say? What are some things that I say? No hymen, no diamond. I'm kidding. I just think that it's a hot take. No offense. Lokai, stop. Anyways, okay. Who's live right now? Who's live? Like the video if you haven't liked it already. It's a free way to help your girl out. Okay? Trying to save the world. One batch at a time. Done. Tom is on. What are they doing by? Uh-oh. Melanie and this man are arguing. Let's see.
You can't comprehend development in children because you don't understand. You have the scientific understanding. You don't have the holistic understanding. You're not around any of it. Thank God you're not around any
pornography. That's why I agree with you, Neat. I want them to look at healthier pornography.
Okay. What if the harm reduction, Mel, what if the harm reduction approach isn't the right approach? Maybe we don't, Mel, maybe we don't enable every single fucking shitty thing that happens in society. Maybe we don't enable that. Maybe we increase the amount of restrictions that we get. Maybe we burden our internet service providers with the ability to whole block these sites for kids. Maybe we attach an age to IP. Maybe we attach an age.
Are they yelling or is it just my ears? I feel like it's yelling. You can just call me Torshaa. She doesn't matter. You can call me whatever you want, baby. Man, this is not productive. Flow state versus naive. How many? Something empathy gap. I think they're talking about pornography and age and IP.
To IPs, and IPs don't allow children to access these sites. Why wouldn't we go there? Why wouldn't we go there?
On their own without you participating it like we did, right?
Okay, what do we do in this scenario? just based on what we've covered so far. They're yelling. I don't want to yell. Doing less. Probably doing less, having compassion, something of that sort. Okay? Nobody's banning. Well, if it's children, there's probably something to do. Do less harm. Don't you have to be 18? Or is that only in some states? I don't know. They're just arguing about internet age restrictions, which will never work. Didn't it work in Texas? Or was that Utah? I think it did work. Almost ruined my eye. Yeah, that was loud in my ear. He's pro internet survey. Oh, low. No, nay, nay. Nay, nay. I actually think we don't have to worry about. Well, I'll wait to say anything on any sort of power structure, but I think we're evolving past it for sure, where it's going to work symbiotically with everybody. It won't even be like a question. I think it's just how I think this power thing is like an archaic thing operating in a level, but I don't understand it that much. So I can like see it. Like most of the wars that have happened in history happened because you had two different levels of development fighting against something. So imagine you have somebody who doesn't speak your language, for instance, and they believe that you're arguing over land, but you're really arguing over oil. Right? It's like close. But if you don't speak the language and you're at different developmental stages, think of like an adult fighting a kid, right? That's fucked up. We have rules against that. But that's probably why all the wars happened. I don't know for sure, but that's what feels right. And feelings aren't facts. Except for mine. So far, they've come true. I'm just kidding. But I think that's why. And I've seen stuff on it, which I'll put his name down here if you guys want to check up on it. Ken Wilber. And then you can also check out Homath, deals with the spiral dynamics version of it. There's many different. Homath, it has like a red pill lens. If you watch red pill content, you'll follow his. But it integrates it, right? But he's funny. You never been to war. How do you know? You're right. I don't. Thank you for your service, sir. Don't drink too many Jack and Cokes, okay? Don't fuck with me. Former bartender. Y'all are wild. Wild. Captain and Cokes. Jack and Cokes. Fireball and Coke. So little time, so many fallacies. Being kind, David. Okay. Like the video, comment, subscribe if you guys want to learn more about it. I put both names of some people you can go to. Ken, I believe the one that discovered it, and then Homath, who operates with like a spiral dynamics theory that he helps you maximize your potential and live a healthier life. I believe he does coaching too. So, but he's actually like based, not like your grifter type, if you will. Buy my course. It's not like that. Okay. Like the video, comment, subscribe, wear your SPF, drink water, go to the gym. Love you. Bye.